To our Tuesday, November 28th meeting of the Select Board. Looks like we have no appointments tonight. Our first agenda item is we have a review of our special town meeting from last night. I think last night went very well. We had a pretty good turnout, I think, for a special town meeting. Do we know how many people were there?
58.
58.
That's great.
So, yes, everything, I think really everything went pretty much unopposed. You know, there was some, I think maybe just a little bit of confusion on one of the agenda items with the zoning, but
that was the only one that didn't pass unanimously.
Right. Yep.
55-3 isn't bad.
No, is that what it was?
That's three. Yeah, there was three votes for the whole night.
Was that the trailer one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. I think just people were, I think, more confused than anything, just on the
Terminology.
yeah.
Was versus what's a trailer, what's a mobile home, and what's a, basically they were trying to confuse that because someone says, well, gee, you know, they really was, they're looking into it, they're going to write it correctly. But yeah, that's really was it. That's all there was.
Yeah, so I think I think the ZBA might be bringing something back.
Yeah.
Possibly in the spring that will hopefully break that down a little bit better.
Bob had looked into HUD, so the HUD has actual definitions of each one of those things or anything that might be appropriate for us.
Right. Which wasn't even along the line of what was being changed in the bylaw anyway. So I think once we got past that, then it was everybody pretty well understood.
So we're only voting on the terms, the 60 days, whether it was no longer going to be
right.
Consecutively, you know, or but this is for the whole year. It's pretty clear in the. Do we have a brochure from last night that she could have? Any other extra ones?
A brochure?
One of the
with all the agendas and all that. Do we have any more?
I'm sure we could find one.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I could just email it to you.
Okay.
See if you come more often, we take care of you.
Well, so, in Bella and my defense, Bella and I communicate pretty regularly on stuff.
I'm just teasing.
And yeah, and she did. You had the motions that your article, your write-up was spot on. You know, I had sent her an email giving her all of your emails and all of your phone numbers. So, hopefully you felt somewhat prepared for that.
I did, yes.
Good.
You did a great job, thank you.
Okay, I mean, I don't want anyone to think that we don't, you know, chat. So I think that the big thing that came out of the meeting last night, in addition to covering our snow and ice deficit, which was huge, that was, I don't know if you saw Pam earlier, but she came up to announce that as of the vote last night, that enabled us to finish closing out our books for FY23. That was accomplished today. Everybody in the finance team has signed off on their appropriate DOR forms, and so that process is complete for the year, which means our tax rate will be set. You had the classification hearing a few weeks ago, so all of the boxes have been checked, which means we're on schedule to get tax bills out beginning of December, which is right on schedule and keeps our cash flow healthy and keeps the residents, you know, nobody likes to get a tax bill, but people get nervous when they don't get them. So this keeps us right on schedule. And then the roof at the wastewater treatment plant, we did notify the contractors this morning to let them know that that was a successful vote, so we're now on the schedule. We'll get that done probably in the next couple of weeks, which is great. And then finally, your disposition article for the police station, which is, I think, what I would like to hear back from the board, what your next steps, what you would like from me for that the next step on that.
I hope we don't. It's only personal. I don't want to become a landlord and rent it out to someone because they're responsible for all the repairs and everything. I mean, I'd almost, if we have an entity that wants to purchase it at fair market value, I really, that's what I'm leaning towards.
Municipalities tend to make lousy landlords.
They do, yes.
Yeah, and that's nothing about the intent. It's just it's not something that we do well.
Right, it's hard.
Yeah.
So I think our next step on that is we should probably do a public hearing, maybe at our next meeting, just to see what other people might want to come up with.
So you want to have your first list? I think we're
I
trying
think
to
so.
listening
I think
sessions
we should.
at the December meeting.
It's fresh in everybody's minds. I think we should kind of just keep rolling with it.
Okay. So that's your December 12th meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
It might not be the only one we do, but I think it's important
Right.
to do.
I think just to start, getting feedback from people now, because we do have, we have the other two entities that are interested in purchasing the property. So I think we should, rather than keep that waiting, we should continue to march on that.
And a third and a fourth came forward at the meeting last night, to let me know that they would be in contact, that they would like to at least physically go look at the building to see it. So Joan has been an excellent liaison at that, and I'll have her participate in that so that we keep it consistent.
As long as we can get inside.
Yes, we have to figure out that key.
Yes.
But with a little bit of practice, I think we'll get very good at getting that back door unlocked.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll start that process. Is there any information that I can prepare for the three of you, so that you don't have to answer that right now, but just let me know what I can get organized as far as some of the questions that came up last night. What is the value? What is the assessed value? What's the appraised value? I have access to some of that information, and we can put together maybe a little informational packet.
About the history, it was built in the 50s, what was it used for? Why did the town get involved? What does the town use it for? That sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, the big thing now is, what are our future plans with it? I think what most people want to know is, is there something, because we do own the building, is there something town-related that we should be looking at holding on to this building? Or, like Larry said, I'm in full agreement. We should not be leasing the building out.
Right.
We should be, either we're keeping it for town use, or we are selling it and, moving on to that step. So, I really think those are kind of the two options that we have. But I want to give people an opportunity, if they think that there's something that it could be used for town use, then You know, I'd certainly love to hear it.
That was Richard Warner, his idea. But is that the group that's already there, or is this, okay?
No, I'm sorry. The group that's already there is basically the inspectional health services. So they're sort of the, they're the regional board of health is the group that's there now.
Okay.
They are, their main offices are at the FERCog building in Greenfield, and they use that building as a great layover space when they're up here in the hill towns doing septic inspections and working in between boards of health meetings, and it's a nice space. They don't have to go all the way back down the hill.
I guess what I'm trying to is.
And then what Dr. Warner was asking about is the Franklin County Health Services, which is also in Greenfield on Main Street, but they provide health care, as well as dentist.
I thought that was a good idea,
Yeah.
but I was just saying, are they the type of group that would purchase?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
that's-
yes.
yeah.
They are not interested in leasing space.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They lease the downtown Greenfield offices, but are the orange one they own. They own the building there.
And they've expressed that they would prefer to own this as opposed to.
They have to, but it'd be a nice thing to have them down to, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
and those are the decisions that you as the board are gonna have to sort of discuss, and, after listening is whether or not a service to the community outweighs the budgetary bottom line, increased revenues through taxation, retail, or some sort of public-facing storefront, or business. I mean, there's every possible use will have positive and negatives for the future of the town. So,
But no matter what, if it's with an organization like that, they still pay taxes.
No, they don't.
They don't, okay. Gotcha.
no, yeah, not a nonprofit, which the.
Oh, okay, they're a nonprofit.
They're a charitable nonprofit because they
Okay.
provide free health care to people. They don't pay taxes in Orange. I asked them that.
Yeah, oh, good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
But, it's up
Not
to,
that that's a downer, it's off our books as far as, but,
they still have to pay water and sewer.
okay.
But, the thing is, I guess we have to say, after listening to what people have to say,
Definitely.
what's the best thing for Buckland?
Definitely.
Should, Heather, do you want to contact, I know that they were aware that we were having this meeting, the town meeting, the two entities, the hydroelectric and the health center. Do you want to reach out and say what the results were, Heather? or-
I can, yeah. I'll keep you on the email.
Okay, yeah, please do that, okay. Do you want to say who else is interested, or is that,
Well, the power company is.
right, you said there were two from last night, or?
Oh, until they make contact,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
But they're both local business owners. They're both from the area, and they, have some ideas for a future use for the building. So they want to just take a look, and again, the way that this will happen, it won't be you choosing, we're going to sell it to this one or to that one. You'll go through a advertised bid, whether that's a request for qualifications or it's a request for proposals, bottom line versus use. That'll be a very open process as well. So,
Okay.
I hope whoever was in there, it'll be a long-lasting situation and not a turnover type of thing, But anyways, we'll find out. I'm curious of what people want, envision in that building.
and that's the type of item, that's the type of list that you want to start thinking about for your criteria, so that when you do open all of the proposals, you have a list, a set of criteria that you're judging each of these submissions by
is a value to the town of Buckland. I mean,
Right,
that's
you know,
really-
so that
Not
you're,
monetarily even, I mean, just the value that we need.
so that you're evaluating them all on the same criteria, so that there's a scoring process. So how long would that business, you know, be there? That would be a criteria that if, you know, one would score higher than another maybe. So,
Okay. Yeah, so I think for our next meeting, I think we should basically maybe start to figure out which direction we're gonna go. So if we can make sure we really get that out to people, that, you know, if they have ideas, maybe get it to our next meeting.
The thing on the list maybe should be the impact on the neighborhood too.
All right.
Well, interesting meeting.
Yeah.
Probably, are we gonna have it in here or in the other room? Depends on who should have many people.
Probably that.
Right. If we can play it by ear. If we have a ton of people show up, I'm sure we can get some chairs out there quickly. All right.
And how will we get the word out for people?
well, I will post it on the website that you're having your first public listening session for the disposition of the police station. And, you know,
If they're listening tonight, if they're watching tonight,
yeah, if they're watching tonight. And obviously, it'll be on your agenda, which gets posted in the traditional way.
Bella will have it in the paper.
And Bella will have it in the paper. Great.
All right.
And can it go out in the email blast like you did for the town meeting?
Yep, yeah, when I put it on the website, I always do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
excellent,
yeah.
excellent, good.
Yep. And maybe,
Maybe get a
When-
plug into
when is-
the town news.
well, when is the next newsletter?
Well, the deadline is already passed. Let me see if I can work my magic and get it in there. I kind of want to make sure I have the right wording. I don't know if might be too late for the two town news. We'll find it. Let me write it down. So, Tricia. It's really, I can put it on Facebook too.
Yes. All right. So our letter of hire for the Highway Department Facilities and Labor position. We did have one interview last week. We have since actually gotten 2 more applicants. 2 more?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So we've since gotten 2 more applicants. We are going to be looking at setting up interviews for later this week for those two, before I think we make a final determination. And I think with that, we're gonna, after those interviews, I think we're gonna try to maybe get a quick select board meeting in, so we can get that ball rolling, so. Because I think there's imminent snow in our near future, so.
Yeah, I think you're
Just
right.
know and just know.
Yes. So, you know, we obviously don't want to hold off too much longer.
Right.
So I think we're looking at Thursday.
Yeah.
So it'll be myself and Larry Langford and Anthony. And maybe Heather this time. So the 4 of us will do those other 2 interviews Thursday evening, and then we'll try to get something set up. Do we maybe want to post that meeting for Friday for our select board meeting? And 'cause I think between the 4 of us, we can kind of have a discussion after the interviews and make a determination from there on where we're gonna move, and then we can,
Sounds good.
I can present it to you guys on Friday.
That's fine.
Sounds good.
What time on Friday?
Well, do we wanna meet in person? Do we wanna meet via Zoom?
Oh, I prefer meeting in person.
Okay.
I do too.
All right.
You know, I am a
Excellent.
Zoom. Get just
What time?
You can Zoom in though, because you're usually
No,
not
I'm
here on
okay.
Friday,
I'm
so
okay.
if you'd like to.
I'm okay. I have enough work.
Well, you're off this week, right?
I am off this week.
So why don't you, what's convenient?
Well, it's been nice and
My
warm.
calendar's open, so.
51 degrees, Clint.
I know. We can do 4:30. That way Heather doesn't have to stay too late.
Okay.
Okay, sure.
Is that this coming Friday?
Yes.
As in 4 days?
Yep.
Mary, if you think of it, could you remind me to post?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll be in tomorrow.
Thank you.
Let's see, documents to sign. We have the contract and grant documents for Mass Works contract for the Charlemont Road reconstruction.
We can do the board's clerk, is there any? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I haven't made, we do have an application, I just haven't had a chance to review it
Okay.
and make contact. So the Charlemont Road, that is $1 million grant that we received from the One Stop program. It's for Phase 2 of Charlemont Road, from where we left off with Phase 1 at Avery Road, just above Avery where the culvert is in front of where Jody Scalise lived. We'll move up the road another 2,500 feet with this particular grant, and not knowing exactly when I'm going to get that contract, but knowing that I'm going to want to turn it around quickly, I'm hoping that you'll vote to authorize Clint to sign without having to have another meeting. You've got the pre-contract form, which breaks out the scope and the timeline and the proposed budget. So we would look to complete the design and engineering this winter, go out to bid in March, get those bid results back, make a contract award for May, so that construction could happen early summer, late spring, early summer of next year.
Try to continue to keep Baltazar in town.
Yeah, well, Baltazar, they have North Street, so they may very well bid competitively for this project, since they've got a crew in town.
That's like when you live down in eastern part of the state and you get in 495 and
Yeah.
you're doing construction.
Yeah.
Guys start there and 20 years later they retire from that same spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's kind of interesting, and this is where the pricing really sort of, gets very interesting. So the Upper North Street project, that's about a little over 400 feet
Yeah.
of road. And that project is about $3.5 million. That's what I went out to bid for. We're going to do 2,200 feet in a similar road. No real utilities, we have drainage, some guardrail, but that's $1 million.
Well, because it's only drainage ditch, there's no culverts
Yeah, but
mixed into that.
yeah, but it's still a very different
Yeah,
pricing scale.
it is.
400 feet for $3.5 million.
You don't want to figure out
2,200 feet for $1 million.
You don't want to figure that out for a foot. So.
No. Just,
Yeah.
Well, then, if we're going to do that, we'll make a motion for that, or I will, because we want
Thank
Clint to
you.
sign it, okay? I move to authorize the chair to sign the FY24 Mass Works Infrastructure Program contract for $1 million grant to reconstruct Charlemont Road, approximately 2,200 feet from Avery Road. We have submitted our pre-contract worksheet and anticipate the contract documents to arrive next week.
I second it.
Any further discussion? Barring none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none?
I like how it says you're the CEO.
Chief elected officer.
Permits and licenses, we don't have any. Minutes, we've got minutes.
We've got minutes. Thank you, Mary.
I got a chance to review them this afternoon. Did you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did.
How about the vendor and payroll warrant?
I looked through them and I got them at home.
I would make a motion to approve November 7th, November 14th minutes as written.
My second.
Any further discussion? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none? And then I'll also make another motion to approve the vendor and payroll warrants for, those were November's?
Yeah, just this
Or
past, I'm sorry, it was last
Yeah.
Tuesday, the 21st.
Right.
I'll second that.
Okay. Further discussion on those? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye, yeah, sorry.
None.
None.
Items not reasonably anticipated by a chair, 48 hours in advance, I have nothing. Select board member concerns?
I don't have a concern, but I want to give two reports. So I met with Ann Goby, who was appointed the State Director of Rural Affairs on November 15th. She went over, she oversees, it's a new position, and she oversees, she told me, I believe, 151 or 181 communities. It's a lot. She can, rural communities. And she met earlier that day with the town administrator in Shelburne, and then also secretary, and then also select board member Andrew Baker. And so when I met, I had said to her earlier that I was going to take her on a walking tour instead of meeting with her in an office. So I took her all the way down to the former police station, and we went to the mill, and just showed her around the different businesses. And I also gave her a list of our the select board's goals for 23-24. So she's very nice. I liked her. She's from grew up in Spencer. She's from Spencer. And then on November 21st, Andrew Baker and I met online with Dan Hodge and Jennifer Carvajal, it's Carvajal, of Cambridge Econometrics. And they were Bricklog and the BSC group on the Rural Downtown District Pilot Project. And that includes Shelburne Falls, Northfield, and Turners Falls. And it was one of those Zoomy type meetings. And so the focus is on understanding how the economic development priorities for each of them. And they went over the goals that were drawn up in a previous study, kind of like, the development of the trolley area, downtown restrooms, which I went, yes. Anyways, Andrew emphasized having a website that would draw people here, because, when people travel, they look at their phone or online. And I said that it would be really nice to have public restrooms and the services to keep them clean when we have busloads of tourists in town, and what's the first place they look for is a restroom, I know. So at the end, I made two suggestions. Is one, that I would gladly take the consultants on a walking tour of the village so they understand what we have here, and the other, secondly, is that if they want to help the businesses, that they should have a meeting. Invite the business owners there, and I said I would gladly take the brochure and visit each one, and to invite them personally. Because I think it's, one thing for officials to talk about, but what do they see, So, anyways, it was a friendly meeting. They were very nice people. We'll see if they take me up on my offer. I'm sure Andrew would join me on the Shelburne side. I wouldn't just do Buckland, but but give them an idea of what kinds of businesses that we have here. So,
And I've got a concern too. Not a concern, but, may I? Thank you. I also had a meeting with Mohawk and everything up. Natalie Blaze came here, who's our representative of First Franklin District, and she brought with her Denise Garlick, who is the state representative House Chair of the Joint Education Committee. Now, what they did is they traveled around to various small schools out here. They're trying to encourage as you remember, several years back when Natalie and Bob and Pat Hines.
And Adam.
Thank you. Adam Hines started the Sustainable Future for Rural Schools. They're carrying it on. They actually have an act, the House Act of H3567 or S2388. I guess that's the House and the Senate. I'm not sure, but they were here talking about it, and I met with them in Mohawk, not myself, representatives from many of the towns around here, a bunch of high school students. It was really good. This is not saying, this is not the sustainability one. We still don't know. There's a lot of needs in the school, but they're trying to get more money, and they're working on it. And Natalie now has Denise Garlick, who is the state rep and the leader of that group, really pushing to get us some additional funds for rural schools. And it's really neat to see, because even some of the paperwork was showing you the amounts of money that some of the other districts get every year. We got 40,000, and some of these districts were getting 120, 130,000. And
Why the disparity?
because of population, because of students. That's the bottom line. So they said it isn't fair to the smaller districts. That's what they're trying to really beef up and improve. And qualified aides. And just to give an example, let's see if I've got it right here. I've got Mohawk. Mohawk gets because of students and special enrollment, et cetera, gets $43,462. You go down, Gil Montague gets $190,701. Orange gets $105,403. I mean, because of the needs, community, and everything else. So they're looking into really doing some things, and the excitement that I saw all the high school kids, they want classes back in, like wood shop, metal shop. They'd love to see all the stuff they're missing up there. They said it's not making a well-rounded student. So this is not the sustainability one. In other words, this is still going to survive. This is about getting money for regional schools, and I kind of thought that was exciting, especially small regional districts like ours. So I'll try to keep you up in touch if I find out anything else, but.
Okay.
It's funny the amount of money that the school gets, or how little money that the school gets, considering there's 9 towns pulling into that one high school.
But but even with that, it's really.
Does it go on student population, or does it go towards town population?
That's a good question. No, I can't answer that because I don't know which way we see. That would be on theirs.
just curious.
But some of them, some of the larger districts would be students. There was some really large funds. It really was. And I've got a thing here. You can look at it, and this is the one from Adam Hines in 2020. But rural aid distribution, okay, here's an example. Frontier Regional School District got their $290,000, $295,000, and they also got for FY22 they had let's see if I can put them right here. They had $59,000. Mohawk, if I can find it, didn't put this in alphabetical order. Mohawk Trail got $805,000. That was our biggie, remember? And 161 after that. That was a $900,000 grant that runs out at the end of 24. Yeah, so that's why they're worried about it, because we're not going to have that $900,000 in grants.
Don't they, because of the zip code too, when they look at what Buckland's
Possibility.
Well, but this isn't just Buckland and Shelburne, this is all the 9 towns, because it's for the Mohawk district.
That's exactly it, it's the Mohawk district. They gave us an up-to-date, finally, Buckland Shelburne School. I'm only going to give the ones we're concerned with. Buckland and Shelburne. There's 265 students at Buckland Shelburne School, most of them from, more than half from Buckland. So we paid extra last year. Look, at Mohawk Trail School, all towns, there's 309. Actually, I heard 4 numbers mentioned that day. 287, and someone else said 312, and then somebody said 309, so, but they wrote 309 in the paper, so, and we seem to have most of the kids that are there, so, but if you want us to look at it any time too, you're more than welcome to do it. But I'll keep you in touch with that, and I'm hoping it'd be a nice thing if it ever makes it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Clint.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Town administrators report.
I just have a couple of items for you tonight. One is a few months ago, we had Brian McHugh, who is the executive director at the Franklin County Regional Housing and Redevelopment Authority, talk to you about potentially applying for grant funding for housing rehabilitation in Buckland, and that he has a substantial waiting list of people that are interested in these funds. In March, the FY24 round of CDBG applications will be due. As you know, we've always worked with Breezeway Farm and Linda Overing. Linda has respectfully asked not to participate in the next grant round. She's going to administer our current grant funding for the Freight Yard and Depot project, but she is not going to continue to do that work. So knowing that we don't really have another infrastructure project ready to go, eventually I will get down to Elm, but I can't do that for March. I'd like to ask Brian to come back and talk to you all about using our CDBG FY24 application eligibility for that housing rehab program. That keeps the money coming into the community. We know there's a need. The need has been identified. There's a waiting list that is, and it takes make sure that, again, that we get an application in and that the money is available to Buckland residents. So my question is whether or not you're amenable to having him come in and make a presentation, and perhaps, at least for the next round, using those funds. It's another $1 million. So it's nothing that we want to say no to the opportunity, but I don't have an infrastructure project.
So in terms of housing, that for people who are income eligible to get like structural things done on their homes? Okay.
Yeah. It's a very well-structured program that is administered locally by the Franklin County Regional Housing Redevelopment Authority, but there are criteria that are set for who can participate, and the application process is very well organized. And
how long does that $1 million last?
not as long as it used to.
No, not the cost of...
Not the cost of materials now.
But usually the money is used for roofs, emergency, people that are just not able to accomplish some, we're not renovating anybody's kitchens.
Right.
This is dealing with safety issues, if there's some issues with the electric services, that type of thing. So, it would not be managed by the town. It would be managed, which would be also a diversion from what we've done in the past. The town has always managed its own, with the consultant services of Breezeway Farm, we've always managed our own CDBG grants. So this would be not the same. But just want to make sure that before I move forward with that this is something that you're in agreement with, and happy to have Brian come in and talk about what that would really look like.
Roofs are expensive.
They are. Yeah. Especially when you need it done yesterday.
We'll have to check in a senior discount for that. Sorry, you're not eligible. I wanted to give him back.
I know, well, okay, so, I know. Also, you recently appointed Chris Skelly to the Woodlands Partnership as the town's representative. I'm not even sure that Buckland is technically eligible to vote at the Woodlands Partnership, but he is already doing great things. He has sent out a list of possible trails for development and is proposing a winter trail summit, which would be about a half-a-day program. I'm not sure where it would be held or exactly what date it would be held, but that went out today, and the interest that he received back in a couple of hours is overwhelming how many people want to be involved in this. So I will continue to work with Chris and make sure that I bring that information back to this meeting form so that people are aware of when that's going to be. There's about 5 or 6 different trails that he's looking to develop and then connect.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, it is. And again, a great, on the list of things that would be great to do as a town, but when you have one individual who's willing to step up and work with another organization, it really just shows the collaboration that this community does so well. And then the last thing I have is that at your next meeting, you'll have your liquor license renewals, and the Mass General Law dictates that those renewals have to be back to the town by November 30th, which is in 2 days, and we have exactly 1 license back. No, 2 licenses back. So that leaves quite a few other businesses that have not returned their liquor licenses, and that we want to make sure that those individuals know that we don't have the ability to extend that deadline. So November 30th is the end of that conversation for people. So if you know of anybody, if you've got a special spot that you like to have a beer, you may want to just check in with them and make sure that they have their liquor license back to the town.
We have 5.
Yeah. So that's my public service announcement.
And then we're not going to tell them that it's coming up.
No, well, so they received their packages in the mail.
Yeah.
We follow up, but we really don't have the ability to go and,
It's not our job to babysit them.
yeah. And,
They turn that into you, or?
to either Pam or any of us here in the building are able to take that. I have met liquor license holders at their establishments in the pouring rain before, and we do make it happen. I'm just using this as an opportunity to make sure that they know that it's coming up. So,
Okay.
I mean, it's such an important part of their business and bottom line. I would hope, I don't know why it falls down on the list of priorities, but Buckland is not alone. Every community chases liquor licenses. So that's all I have for you tonight.
Okay. Any public comment? No? All right, announcements and upcoming meetings. The select board will be meeting next on December 12th at 5:30. And December 26th is in question.
Well, it's the day after Christmas. I don't know how everybody feels. I mean, it's a regular work day. I just want to make sure that we understand that it's the day after Christmas, and you may not want to meet that day. So,
Yeah, maybe we make that determination at our December 12th.
perfect.
That's a good idea.
Maybe we can
Yeah.
see what we have
Mm-hmm.
upcoming.
Yep.
If we have anything that needs to be addressed at that.
Good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that we have coming up?
I don't think so.
All right. Move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Barring none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, none. Thank you, and have a good evening.